Hello my dear students, welcome to IMS Academy. Myself Sandeep Adari. Let us start the SSC JEE previous year question series. Before starting the question, now my dear students, for any updates in our YouTube channel, you can join our Telegram group, and for any daily quizzes or if you are looking for important updates related to the job notification, you can join our Telegram group. And please like, share and subscribe our channel my dear students. So let us start the first question. Transported soil, see here the first question is transported soil known as talus is transported by. What is the answer? Can anyone tell me the answer here? Now my dear students, soils which are transported by gravity is known as what, sir? Talus. Here if you talk the soils which are transported by gravity are called talus. Now let me tell you some here. So here the answer will be what? The option 3 is the right answer. Now see students, there can be a questions in this in different ways. Soils which are transported by lakes, soils which are transported by lakes, we call it as lacustrine soils. And soils which are transported by wind, we call it as aeolian soils. And soils which are transported by gravity, we call it as colluvial soils. And the example for gravity soils or colluvial soils is nothing but talus. And similarly, if the soils are deposited by ice, we call it as glacier deposited soils. So there can be asking, they can also ask these kind of questions also. So I have given the insight of these questions, students. Now coming to the question 2, which of the following type has the highest value of coefficient of permeability? Now see students, is it clay, coarse grain, fine grain and silt? Now let me tell you one thing my dear students. Now see, if the particle size, consider particle size, you can say particle size dia is proportional whole square to coefficient of permeability. So more the particle size, more is the permeability. And if you see the order of coefficient of permeability in centimeter per second, usually for gravel it will be 1, for sand it will be 10 power minus 2 centimeter per second, for silt it is 10 power minus 4 centimeter per second, and for clay it is 10 power minus 6 centimeter per second. From this, it is evident that which is having the most coefficient of permeability, students? Obviously, the gravel is the one which is having the most coefficient of permeability. So the option here is nothing but coarse sand, because coarse sand comes under, because here there is clay silt. No fine sand, if you see coarse sand size is more than fine sand. So the option 2 is the right answer. Okay, students? Now as per the IS 456, a short axial loaded column, they have given factored axial load, characteristic compressive load, characteristic yield strength, gross sectional area, concrete area. Now my dear students, according to the RCC, if you talk about the ultimate load, the formula for ultimate load is 0.4 FCK into area of concrete plus 0.67 Fy into area of steel in compression. So here they are considering minimum eccentricity. If there is no eccentricity, then here it will become 0.4 will become 0.45 and 0.67 will become 0.755 Fy. So here if you see the option, here is the option A. You can say option A is the correct answer, 0.4 FCKAC plus 0.67 Fy ASC. I hope you are clear. Now my dear students, see, suppose magnetic declination is 180 degrees east and the magnetic bearing is 60 degrees, find the true bearing. Now see students, let me tell you some important thing. Here you can say true bearing is equal to, now my dear students, you can say here true bearing is equal to magnetic bearing, true bearing is equal to magnetic bearing plus or minus declination. What, sir? True bearing is equal to what, my dear students? Magnetic bearing plus or minus declination. Now see students, What is true bearing? It is the bearing of a line measured with respect to true meridian. What is magnetic bearing? It is the bearing of a line measured with respect to magnetic meridian. Now, my dear students, declination you will take positive when the declination is eastwards. And if you talk about negative, when the declination is westwards. So, my dear students, please understand true bearing is equal to magnetic bearing plus or minus declination. There can be a question asked on this also in this way. A line joining points of same declination is called isogonic line. Line joining points of zero declination is called agonic lines. So, please understand this also. What's our isogonic line? Line joining points of same declination. Line joining points of zero declination is agonic lines. Now, according to this problem, the magnetic bearing is given as how much, sir? It was given as 60 degrees and declination was given 180 degrees east. So, I have taken as positive. So, total value will be equal to 240 degrees. So, I am giving you in and around concept also once we are solving the problem so that you can solve more and more problems with these concepts. So, here the answer will be 240 degrees. Option 1 is the right answer. I hope you are clear with this solution. Now, see students, as per Indian standard, where FCK is the compressive strength, the tensile strength is. Now, it is a direct formula from IS 456 students. If you talk about the like they have asked the tensile strength, right? If they ask you the tensile strength here, it is directly given as 0.7 root FCK. Now, my dear students, they can ask you another thing is, what is the short-term modulus of elasticity? The short-term modulus of elasticity is given as 5000 root FCK. Similarly, if they ask you what is the long-term modulus of elasticity, it is given as short-term modulus of elasticity upon 1 plus theta. And remember, my dear students, here theta is nothing but what, sir? Creep coefficient. Here theta is nothing but what, my dear students? Theta is nothing but a creep coefficient, which is defined as ultimate creep upon elastic creep. I hope you are clear with this solution. Now, in case of uniform flow, the contour lines. So, see students, here let me tell you some properties of contours. When I talk about contours, sir, properties of contour. What are the properties of contour here is, see my dear students, if the contour lines are equally spaced, then it indicates if the contour lines are equally spaced, then it indicates uniform slope. If the contour lines are equally spaced, then it indicates what, sir? Uniform slope. Similarly, my dear students, if the contour lines are well apart, it indicates steep slope. If they are very close to each other, then it indicates gentle slope. If they are equally spaced, means it indicates uniform slope. And remember, my dear students, two contour lines never intersect each other except in the case of overhanging cliff. And remember, if you have higher values inside and lower values outside represents a hill, lower values inside and higher values outside represents a valley. And if you talk about the ridge lines and the valley lines intersect the contours at 90 degrees. You should also remember these points. Based on these properties, here in case of uniform slope, it represents equally spaced contour. So, or they tend to parallel to each other, space very close to each other, cross each other, while this tend to be parallel to each other. Because when they are parallel means they are equally spaced. So, the option 2 is the right answer. Now, see students, for a standard compaction test, the mass of hammer and the drop of the hammer is. Now, see students, we have two types of tests. One is the standard Proctor test. It is not standard penetration test, for your information, my dear students. One is the standard Proctor test. Standard Proctor test is also called as Indian standard lightweight test. What, sir? Standard Proctor test is also known as what, my dear students? It is also known as Indian Standard Lightweight Test. Standard Proctor test is also known as Indian Standard Lightweight Test. Now, for C students, for the compaction of ordinary highways, okay, usually we use Standard Proctor test. Here C students, hammer weight will be 2.60 kg, and height of fall, if you talk about the height of fall, it will be equal to 31 centimeter, or you can say 0.31 meter, or you can say 310 mm. And remember, if you talk about the compactive effect, sir, soil here is arranged in 3 layers and each layer is given as 25 number of blows. So if you calculate the compactive effectiveness, here the compactive effectiveness of Standard Proctor test is 593.01 kilonewton meter. This can be also a question. In case of modified Proctor test, soil is arranged in 5 layers and each layer is given 25 number of blows. So according to this question, if you here see the answer 2.6 and 310 mm. So 31 centimeter or 0.31 meter, or you can say 3. So the option 3 is the right answer. I hope you are clear with the solution. Now my dear students, here we have another question. The question is, in a compass surveying, if the whole circle bearing is 237 degree 45 minutes, what is the quadral bearing? Now see students, let me tell you, there are simple things. If you talk about the whole circle bearing, whole circle bearing is also known as, you can say whole circle bearing is also known as what, sir? Azimuthal system. Okay. Now my dear students, you should be aware of what is actually whole circle bearing. Now see students, if I consider this line, okay, if you consider this line, and if I consider this line and this line, this is north, this is east, this is south, and this is west. And if you see the angles, they will be in this way. So in whole circle bearing, my dear students, if you observe here, every line is measured with respect to north. You know, whole circle bearing, the bearing of a line is measured always from north and also in clockwise direction. Here bearings varies from 0 to 360 degrees. Whereas in reduced bearing is also known as what, sir? Quadral bearing. Reduced bearing is also known as quadral bearing. Here the bearing can be either measured from north or either from south or clockwise or anti-clockwise, whichever is near. Now in this problem, what they have given, 237 degrees 45 minutes is the whole circle bearing. Now my dear student, this is the whole circle bearing which is given in the problem. Now when I talk about 237 degrees, now if you see here, 237 degrees in which coordinate, sir? This is in third quadrant. So here this angle is how much? 237 degrees 45 minutes. So to find out this angle, so if you see the direction here, this is south and this is west. So south, you have to minus 180 degrees. So this will be equal to south 57 degree 45 minutes west. So the answer here is how much, sir? South 57 degree 45 minutes west. I hope you are clear with this solution. So south 57 degree 45 minutes. So immediately in this kind of problems, if you see the angle, whether it is second coordinate or third coordinate, just subtract 180, you will get the direct answer. Now, if ABCD is a bearing, if ABCD is a square, if bearing of AB is north 30 degrees, what is the bearing of BC? Now, let me tell you here. Now, see students, if I talk about bearing of AB, this is AB, this is BC, this is CD. What he is asking here? See student, bearing of AB is given. Okay, bearing of AB is how much, sir? North 30 degrees east. This is 30 degrees. Because first quadrant, this is north, this is east. And what he is asking, what is the bearing of BC? Now for these kind of problems, remember always, see students, included angle can be written as, are you following my dear students? If you have any doubts or anything, you can comment in the comment box And remember always students, please like and share our channel. If you try to comment in the section, and if the views are more, definitely we'll be doing more and more videos. So here in the occluded angle can be taken as back bearing of preceding line minus, the actual formula is included angle can be written as back bearing of preceding line minus forebearing of succeeding line. Forebearing of succeeding line. Okay. When I do this for back bearing of preceding line minus forebearing of succeeding line, here you can write back bearing is how much, sir? 30 degrees. So back bearing of AB minus forebearing of BC. So in a square, all the angles are equal to, all the included angles are 90 degrees. That is the reason. How can I know this is 90 degrees is because it is a square. So here back bearing of AB will be equal to 210 degrees, and here minus 90 degrees will be equal to forebearing of, this will be equal to forebearing of BC. So forebearing of BC is equal to how much, sir? It will be equal to 120 degrees. So remember the most important key point for any, sir, we can expect this question also, either from whole circle bearing or from this you can expect SSC JEE question. Included angle is back bearing of preceding line minus forebearing of succeeding. So here what will be the answer, sir? Here it will be, they have not given in the things, so it is 120 degrees. So 120 degrees means it will be equal to, they have given the answer in reduced bearing. So this is 120. So this will be equal to southeast 60 degrees. So the answer is south 60 degrees east. So the option A is the right answer. Option A is the right answer. I hope you are clear. Now see students, the long chord of a circular curve with a deflection and R. Now for this, let me tell you some important things, Amma. You have to consider what is a simple curve. What is a simple curve? What is a simple curve is a curve which is connected by two straights. What is a simple curve, sir? A curve connected by two simple straights is nothing but a simple curve. So here if I consider this as a simple curve. Now my dear students, this distance we call it as apex distance. Okay. And this distance we call it as mid-ordinate distance. And this distance we call it as chord distance. Okay. Now see students, here I would like to tell you some important formulas. Length of chord is equal to, I hope you are following. Length of chord is equal to 2r sine delta by 2. Length of chord is equal to what, sir? 2r sine delta by 2. Mid-ordinate distance is equal to, sir, it will help you other questions also. R into 1 minus cos delta by 2. Next, similarly, apex distance is equal to R into secant delta by 2 minus 1. And remember my dear students, if they ask you what is the length of the tangent, they can ask you what is the length of tangent. Length of tangent is given as what, sir? R tan, you can write here, R tan delta by 2. So all these formulas you can be aware. No, but in this problem they have asked only chord distance. So immediately you can put the direct answer. It is B, 2r sine delta by 2. Now, here see students, there was a good question actually, Amma. The focal length of the object of a glass of a tachyometry is given as 200 mm. The distance is given as 100 mm. And the staff intercept and everything is given. Now see students, here what he is asking is, in this problem what he has given is line of sight is horizontal. Line of sight horizontal they have given it. Now when the line of sight is horizontal, distance is equal to Ks plus C. Now my dear students, let me tell you what is C? Additive constant, which is equal to F plus D. Focal length is given as 200 mm, 0.2, and the distance is given as 0.1. So additive constant is equal to 0.3 meter. It is, sir, remember they can ask you directly this question. That is the reason I have framed this question. So here you know additive constant is focal length plus distance from the instrument to the optical center O is small d. So we got 0.3 meter. Now multiplying constant is equal to how much, students? Focal length upon stadia intercept. This is equal to 200 mm upon 4 mm. This is equal to 50, which will not have any units. It's a multiplying constant. So distance d is equal to 50 into staff intercept is 3 meter minus 1 meter plus 0.3 meter. So if you solve this, you will get 100.3 meter. So here the option is what, sir? 100.3 meter. So you can write option A is the right answer. So here whatever the key points in the previous problem, let me tell you, my dear students, the key points is multiplying constant. Multiplying constant is defined as focal length upon stadia intercept, and for analytical lens, multiplying constant is 100, and additive constant is defined as the summation of focal length plus distance from the instrument to the optical center O. Now we have another beautiful question, sir. In a wet soil, air occupies 1/6 of total volume and water occupies 1/3 of total volume. What is the void ratio? Now for your information, students, for your information, void ratio is defined as what, sir? Void ratio is defined as, it is the ratio of volume of voids upon volume of solids. Now in this problem, they have given volume of air is equal to 1/6 of total volume. And remember, volume of water is given as 1/3 of total volume. So for your information, what do you mean by voids? Volume of voids. Volume of voids is nothing but volume of air plus volume of water. So you can write here V/6 plus V/3. So this will be equal to V/2. So volume of voids is equal to how much, sir? V/2. Similarly, what will be the volume of solids? Volume of solids is total volume minus volume of voids. That is equal to V minus V/2. That is equal to V/2. So this is volume of solids. Now my dear students, how to calculate the void ratio is volume of voids by volume of solids. So here you have V/2 upon V/2. So obviously the volume of void ratio will be equal to 1. So the option here is 1, the option C is the right answer. Option C, which is 1. I hope you are clear. Now see, there was another beautiful question, sir. A soil has a bulk density of 1.8 gram per cc at a water content of 5%. If the void ratio remains constant, then the bulk density for a water content of 10% will be. Now see, students, what is the bulk density they have given? Now see, gamma is equal to, you can write it as gamma d into 1 plus water content. Now this is the formula, and he has told gamma W into G upon 1 plus E. Gamma D can be written as 1 plus water content, can be written as is equal to gamma. Now in this equation, see students, gamma W is constant, G is constant, and in the problem they have taken E is also constant. So from this, you can say gamma is proportional to 1 plus water content. So here you can develop the equation, gamma 1 by gamma 2 can be written as 1 plus water content 1 upon 1 plus water content 2. Now what is gamma 1, sir? Gamma 1 is nothing but 1.8 gram per cc, which is equal to 1 plus 0.05 upon gamma 2 you don't know, upon 1 plus 10% is 1.01. So here if you see, this will be equal to 1.8 into 1.1 upon 1.05. So what will be the answer if you solve this? You will get a value of 1.88 gram per cc. Okay, see students, you should be smart in this. How I have done the calculation is 1.8 into 1.98, and usually if you take it 0.1, it is 1.18, and for 0.5 you can remove that 0.09, you will get 1.88 roughly. So this is a simple calculation, so you can say the option D is the right answer. Now see students, a soil has a void ratio of 1. If the void ratio is reduced to 0.6 by compaction, find the percentage of volume loss. Sir, this is one of the beautiful question. Now see, if I talk about total volume is taken as what, sir? Volume of voids plus volume of solids. Am I correct or wrong? Total volume can be written as what? Volume of voids plus volume of solids. So here if I talk about volume of solids common, you can write it as Vv by Vs plus 1. Now my dear students, total volume can be written as Vs into 1 plus E. From this, for a given soil, weight of soil is constant and volume of solids is also constant. From this, you can say volume is proportional to 1 plus E. So, my dear students, I am just giving the insight and I am giving in and around concept. I can solve the problem within a seconds, like within half a minute. But you have to understand the in and around concept and how to remember the formulas. So, here you can write V2 by V1 can be written as 1 plus E2 by 1 plus E1. Now, my dear students, let me tell you. Here, initial void ratio is how much, sir? 1. And the final void ratio is 0.06. It is reduced. Now, what do you mean by V2 by V1 here? V2 by V1 can be written as V2 by V1. Because see, volume is directly proportional to, right? So, here you will get 1 plus E2 means 1.6 divided by 2. But what they have asked in the problem? They have asked percentage of volume loss. So, percentage of volume loss means what, my dear students? Percentage of volume loss is nothing but V2 minus V1 by V1 into 100. Am I correct or wrong? So, you just minus 1 here and minus 1 here. So, you will get how much, sir? Minus 0.2 you will get this value. But if you talk in percentile into 100, this will give you 20%. Now, immediately one of your friend will ask me, sir, why we have considered minus here? That is the reason minus indicates here loss. So, this formula is very important to understand this problem. So, the percentage of volume loss is how much, sir? The percentage of volume loss is nothing but 20%. Option B is the right answer. I hope you are clear. Now, see students, a sampler with a volume 45 centimeter cube is filled with a dry soil. When the soil is poured in a graduated cylinder, it displaces 25 centimeter cube. This is also a very beautiful question, sir. Now, see students. A sample of volume how much, sir? 45 centimeter cube. A sample of 45 centimeter. When it is poured into a graduated cylinder, that means that indicates volume of solids. Sir, see what happens according to the Bernoulli's theory is, when suppose if you consider any body, suppose if you have water in this, if you put a ball inside, how much volume of the ball is occupied, that much water will be displaced, right? Or water or fluid will be displaced. So, here volume of the ball will be equal to volume of water displaced. So, similarly, volume of solids will be equal to the volume of water or fluid displaced, okay, in any question. So, once you know the volume of solids, you know already volume of voids plus volume of solids is equal to total volume. So, here volume of voids can be written as 45 minus 25 because volume of solids is 25. So, it is 20 centimeter cube. Now, you know volume of solids and volume of voids. Can't you find out the void ratio? Void ratio is nothing but volume of voids by volume of solids. That is equal to 20 divided by 25. This will be equal to 0.8. I hope you are clear with this solution. Now, my dear students, option D is the right answer. If they ask you in percentage, sir, then it will be taken as 80 percentile. Now, see students, if a soil sample 0.18 kg having a volume of 10 power minus 4 cubic meter cube and dry density of 1600 kg per meter cube is mixed with 0.02 kg of water, then the final water content of the sample will be. Now, see students, here if you see, the soil is weight is how much, sir? Soil weights, total weight is how much? Here soil total weight is 0.18 kg. And if you talk about volume, total volume is 10 power minus 4 meter cube. And dry density is how much, sir? Dry density is 1600 kg per meter cube. This was given. Now, let me tell you, what do you mean by dry density, my dear students? Dry density is nothing but weight of solids by total volume. Now, what is weight of solids? Gamma D into volume. So, what is gamma D? 1600 into 10 power minus 4. This is equal to 0.16 kg. Now, see students, weight of solids is 0.6 and total weight is how much? 0.18. So, weight of water is equal to how much, sir? 0.18 minus 0.16. So, this will be equal to 0.02. but this 0.02 is again mixed with another 0.02 of water. So total weight of water is 0.04 kg. But what he has asked in the problem, he has asked what is the water content. Water content is nothing but weight of water by weight of solids, that is 0.04 divided by 0.16. So this will be equal to 0.25, or which is equal to 25 percentile. I hope you are clear with this solution. Now see students, another important question. A soil has a liquid limit 35 percentile, plastic limit another 20 percentile, and shrinkage limit 10 percentile. And natural water content is how much, sir? Natural water content is also 25. Okay. Now 35, 20, 10. Now how I will know, my dear student? This is liquid limit, this is plastic limit, and this is shrinkage limit. And remember always students, liquid limit is greater than, plastic limit is greater than shrinkage limit. I hope you are clear, right? Now in this, see what they are asking, natural water content is how much, sir? 25%. What they are asking, we'll see. They are asking what is the liquidity index, plasticity index, and shrinkage index. First, if you talk about plasticity index, what is IP? WL minus WP. So here that is 35 minus 20, it will be equal to 15%, or you can say 0.15. Now shrinkage index is equal to plasticity index minus plastic limit minus shrinkage limit, that is 20 minus 10, that is equal to 10%. And if they ask you liquidity index is W minus WP upon IP. W is how much, sir? 25. Liquid limit is 20. IP is how much, sir? We got 15%. So this will be equal to 0.33. So this will be 0.15. This will be equal to 0.1. So what will be the answer, sir? 0.33. 0.33. Here it is. If you talk about percentile, 0.33, 15 and 10. Because liquidity index, plasticity index, and shrinkage index. I hope you are clear. Now, what is the equation of A line? Now, my dear students, actually there is a, why I have given this question here is, actually we should be aware of the topic called plasticity chart. You should be aware of this chart. Now, my dear students, a graph is drawn between plasticity index. A graph is drawn between plasticity index on y-axis and water content on x-axis. And we call this as plasticity index. And we have here values 35. This is 50. And this line we call it as A line. And remember the equation of A line. In the question they have asked you, what is the equation of A line? What is the equation of A line? If they ask you, it is a straight away question, amma. Equation of A line is given by the formula 0.73 into IP is equal to 0.73 into WL minus 20. Because here the intercept will be 20 and above A line we will have clay CICH. Because if the liquid limit is between 35 to 50, it is intermediate. Below 35, it is low compressible. More than 50, it is highly compressible. And below A line, we have whether it is silt or organic soil. So if you can remember these values, okay. And for the plasticity index of 4 to 7, you will have the dual nature of, it will have both the natures of clay and silt. I hope you are clear. And if they ask you only the question, IP is equal to 0.73 into WL minus 20. So the option B will be the right answer. Now see students, the coefficient of permeability of a soil is 4 into 10 power minus 5 per second if the viscosity of the is reduced to half. Sir, see, let me tell you, we have to know this equation. The coefficient of permeability is given by the equation d10 square C into E cube upon 1 plus E into gamma W by mu. Now from this relation, the viscosity permeability is inversely proportional to viscosity. So if the viscosity is reduced by half, permeability will be increased by twice. This is a simple thing. Here they have given the permeability is how much, sir? In the question they have given the permeability as 4. Now so it will become 8. So the option A is the right answer. So remember my dear students, permeability is inversely proportional to viscosity. When the viscosity is doubled, definitely when the viscosity is reduced to half, permeability will be doubled. I hope you are clear. Now the see, Here the hydraulic head at which the produces quicksand condition in the sand stratum of thickness 2 meter, if G is 2.7 and E is equal to 0.7 is, what is the hydraulic head he is asking. And remember here thickness is also given, sir. Now see students, in case of quicksand condition, the hydraulic gradient will be taken as critical hydraulic gradient, and the critical hydraulic gradient is given by the formula G minus 1 upon 1 plus E. Here G is given as how much, sir? 2.7 minus 1 upon 1 plus E. E is given as how much, sir? 0.7, I think. So the critical hydraulic gradient will be how much, sir? 1 meter. But he is asking what is the thickness is 2 meter. What is the hydraulic head? So critical hydraulic gradient is nothing but head by loss is 1 meter. So head can be, length is taken as thickness is 2 meter. So hydraulic head can be taken as 2 meter. So here the answer C is the 2 meter is the right answer. So my dear students, the hydraulic gradient at quicksand condition is known as critical hydraulic gradient, and this is given by the formula IC is equal to G minus 1 upon 1 plus C. Again, this is a very important equation, students. Critical hydraulic gradient IC is equal to G minus 1 upon 1 plus E. Now, the survey which is done on the fixed on the boundary of a building site. Now see students, usually revenue people will be doing the survey for the fixing the boundaries, and we call cadastral survey. What is this survey called, sir? Sir, see, if the survey is done for natural features like buildings, rivers, features and all, we talk it about topography. If you are talking about control points, developing control points, geodetic principles are used, then we call control survey. If you are taking a if you are talking of fixing the boundaries, then we call it as a cadastral survey. If you are talking about the mines, underground mines, then it is mine survey. And for engineering works, we take it as engineering survey. Okay. Now my dear students, for a well-conditioned triangle, no angle should be less than. See here, this is very important. See students, the best well-conditioned triangle is always the equilateral triangle. What is the best well-conditioned triangle, sir? The best well-conditioned triangle is what, my dear students? The best well-conditioned triangle is nothing but the equilateral triangle. And remember, for a triangle to be well-conditioned, there are the important criteria. When theta should not be less than 30 degrees and theta should not be more than 120 degrees. And if there is below 30 degrees and if it is more than 120 degrees, then it is called ill-conditioned triangle. But in this question, it is straight away, it should not be less than 30 degrees. So the right answer is 30 degrees. Now my dear students, if the true bearing is 260 degrees, then its azimuth is. Let me tell you two things, my dear students. Azimuthal system is also known as whole circle bearing. So whenever they give you true bearing is 260 degrees, means azimuth will be also equal to 260. And if they give you quadral bearing is also known as reduced bearing. So in this answer, so here 260, so option C is the right answer. Now my dear students, in a leveling, the correction for combined curvature and refraction will be. Now my dear students, see here, if you talk about correction for curvature is given by the formula d square upon 2r, and it is always negative. And you know what is r? R is nothing but the radius of the earth, which is 6370 kilometers. If you talk about refraction, this is always negative and this is positive. That is 1 by 7 d square by 2r. Now my dear students, if I talk about this is correction for curvature, okay. Now when I talk about the combined correction, this will be equal to minus 6 by 7 d square upon 2r. Now my dear students, if you substitute r in radius in kilometer, you will get a value of 0.0673 d square. Okay, this option D is the right answer. Now we have the final question here. The arithmetical check for the computation of rise and fall method. My dear students, there are two methods actually, height of instrument method and rise of fall. Usually when the number of survey points are more, then we go with the rise and fall method. And for rise and fall method, the check is sum of backside minus sum of foresight is equal to last RL minus, RL means reduced level, last RL minus first RL, and this will be equal to sum of the rise minus sum of the fall. So my dear students, whichever the option which covers these three. Okay, so here sum of four sides. So option A is wrong. Four side, back side minus RL of first. So wrong. Sum of back side RL of last minus first. Sum of, so option C is the right answer. Now, my dear students, if you are watching these videos, if you have any queries or if you feel comfortable with these videos, you please try to like, share our channel and please comment in the comment box. Now, my dear students, as part of our Telegram group, if you want any recent job notifications or if you want to attempt daily quizzes or if you want to know about the important notifications related to PSUs or if you want to know the sessions in our YouTube channel, definitely by joining in the Telegram group link, it will help you. And the link is given in the description. I hope this video will help you. Thank you and all the best.